The state budget is now in effect, which means on December 1st, my next guest brings Medicaid expansion to North Carolina. And he decided to come here. Welcome to the stage, Governor Roy Cooper. Hi, Governor. Thank you for being here. Over there. Come on. Go right in the middle. They're fans. They're fans. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for having us in Asheville.
Outstanding. Hello, Western North Carolina. Love it. Love it.
So Medicaid expansion will begin. It took an unrelenting effort over years. Could you walk us through what it took to get this far? Cliff notes. Notes.
So your former boss, your friend, President Obama.
I think I'd call him my friend. I don't think he'd call me his friend.
Pushed through the Affordable Care Act. And it gave states the opportunity to expand Medicaid. And in 2014, states had the opportunity to do that. Taylor Swift was still singing country music at that time. So we pushed, and many of you out there helped us get it done. But we had to put together, because we had a Republican legislature that continued to fight it. So we put together non-traditional coalitions. And law enforcement was finding that many of their officers were spending so much time with people with mental illness and substance use disorder, and we got them to come to the legislature to tell these Republicans that, hey, these people need health care, not handcuffs, right? We pulled together Republican rural county commissioners, rural hospitals, rural chambers of commerce, and finally, we got them to agree to get health care to 600,000 North Carolinians starting December the 1st.
So,
if I had a couch, I'd jump up on it like Tom Cruise.
Like Tom Cruise? Okay. We should next time. We should have done that. It's also a reminder. First of all, I think one of the things that was so galling, and it was actually quite surprising, that a bunch of states didn't embrace expanding Medicaid, because, as you know, this was the federal government paying the vast majority of the expense to give health care to people in these states, and a lot of Republican governors tried to stop it. You are term limited, so you're in your fuck it era, I guess. But
I have 15 glorious months to go, okay? Okay. And by the way, we were turning down $521 million a month.
A month.
A month. And think about what Texas and Florida is turning down for their working people. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. You don't even have to assess any state taxes, because you can put an assessment on the hospitals, and it's all federal money, tax money that you've already paid to Washington that other states are getting advantage of.
It's so galling. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Crazy.
But it's a reminder that what the stakes have been in North Carolina, this state where we have so many competitive elections, this purple state. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about just how important continuing the progress you've been able to make will be when North Carolina goes to the polls to pick their next governor?
Well, let me just say that because of technologically diabolical gerrymandering, this legislature does not reflect who we are as North Carolinians. And we got three things that we have to do. And I've already made some promises, but we got to win this state for President Biden. We've got to elect Josh Stein as our new governor. And we have to break the supermajority in the state legislature. And look, I'm going to work governing these next 15 months, but I'm also going to have shoulder to the wheel here to make sure that I am involved all the way up to 2024, raising money, helping get out the grassroots organizations, and making sure we do all three of those things. You got to help us do it, guys. Got to help us do it.
So you talked about the gerrymander that you've been dealing with here. There's also been efforts on the part of the Republican legislature to strip your powers away. So when a Republican wins, they get to govern. When a Democrat wins, a Republican gets to govern. North Carolina is a place other states have looked to in both directions to learn, not for Republicans to take what they did here to try to strip power elsewhere, but also of how Democrats have fought back. Can you talk a little bit about the fights you've been waging here on LGBTQ rights to protect voting rights, and where you've found you've been able to kind of galvanize people even when their votes are being discounted or their democracies being undermined?
You know, these Republicans are on the cutting edge of all the wrong things. I've worked hard to work with them, and we got Medicaid expansion, and we got clean energy legislation that's going to require to get us to carbon zero in our power sector by 2050. And we created a lot of really good paying jobs. But at the same time, this legislature has taken us backward. For 4 years, I had enough Democrats in the legislature to sustain my veto. So we kept all of that bad stuff at bay. And you would have thought that North Carolina would have learned a lesson with our bathroom bill. Come on. But what they've done, that now we had a Democrat flip, and now they have a one-vote supermajority in the House and Senate, so they're going back and passing these anti-LGBTQ plus bills, this Don't Say Gay bill, which, let me just tell you, our public school teachers are my heroes. And, I had one of our leaders in our community say to me, he said, growing up as a gay little boy in eastern North Carolina, public school teachers saved my life. And to try to put this barrier in between teachers and these young students, for political purposes only, attacking vulnerable children, whether they be trans, whether they be gay, whatever it is, it's just wrong on so many levels. What we have to do is to prove them wrong at the ballot box. And we've got to make sure that our young people who are so excited about these issues, about climate change, about fighting discrimination, about public education, about gun violence, and making sure we take, we live in North Carolina, guys, but we should be able to take reasonable steps to keep guns out of the hands of criminals and children and people who are a danger to themselves or others. But we gotta translate that excitement into making sure that young people get that vote in the ballot box. They're transient. Do I register at college? Do I register at home? Register in North Carolina. Help us out. We got to do it. Got to do it.
How much has the overturning of Roe shifted politics in North Carolina? The legislature passed this restrictive ban. It's held up by the courts. How much do you think that is changing the political realities here?
Are we going to fight back? Are we going to fight back? It is absolutely changing the politics. These politicians have no business in the exam room with a woman and her doctor. They went into a back room. They rolled out this bill. It's a 12-week abortion ban, and I know it's not as strict as some of the other southern states, but they said at the time they were coming back. They were coming back next year. And so what they did was galvanize themselves. They even had Republicans who had promised that they would not mess with these abortion laws, but every single Republican voted to override my veto. Every single Democrat voted to sustain my veto. It was a one-vote margin in each chamber. We have to get galvanized ourselves and make sure we win these next elections. It is going to be an issue that I think is going to be talked about a lot, and I hope it will drive people to the polls because they're going to come back and they're going to make this law even worse.
And they want to know what's funny, and don't we all?
So, well, can I tell you about the Western residents? Do you know that we have a Western residence? We have a governor's mansion. We have a Western residence. It is a second home for the governor. It was given to the state in the 1950s. And I made my first trip out here after 6 months. It was July of 2017. And do you remember when Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey was having the budget fight, closed the beaches in New Jersey, and the iconic picture of him and his family on the beach? So I came up here for the very first time that very weekend, and the New York Times decided to do a story, what governors have second residences, and are they there? Well, at least I didn't close the mountains, right? At least I didn't close the mountains.
Speaking of recreation, we have but 24 hours here in Asheville and North Carolina, and we'd like to make the best of it. And we have an expert, and so it's time for 24 hours in North Carolina. And you're going to help us decide. Beyoncé's Renaissance Tour or the 30th Annual Carolina Renaissance Festival in Huntsville, currently running from September 30th through November 19th.
Gotta go to the Renaissance Festival. I know about Beyonce, love Beyonce, but my daughter and son-in-law are big Renaissance Festival people. So I gotta go with them. It's a family thing, okay?
I love Beyonce, teachers are heroes. What's your secret?
Stop it!
Bojangles versus Biscuitville.
Oh my God.
I'm just reading the card.
Gotta go with the bow. Biscuitville has a story about the legislature, but we won't go there right now.
North Carolina is known for barbecue, in particular for having a vinegar-based barbecue sauce. Where should I try that sauce, keeping in mind that I am a coastal elite soft boy who prefers barbecue to taste like a beefy ice cream sundae?
So Doug Sauls in eastern North Carolina. How about Llewellys here in Asheville?
How about 12 Bones?
And remember, barbecue is not a verb. It is not a verb. And barbecue only refers to pork. And it's also, you can't say that you're going to go to a barbecue. No. It is pork. It is cooked pork. That's what it is. Just got to learn that.
Okay. I'll take the note. Asheville's Biltmore Estate is reportedly home to a number of ghosts, including that of George Washington Vanderbilt, the heir for whom the house was built as a vacation home. Do you believe in ghosts?
Sure. There's one at the governor's mansion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I haven't seen him yet, but some of the troopers who are here and some of the people who work there say they see him. I'm going to ask him how he dealt with his legislature when I meet up with him.
Okay. You told our producers that you travel with a case of Sundrop soda.
You don't even know what that is.
Sounds like a Mountain Dew ripoff to me.
Well, so wait a minute.
I'm being a heel.
Mountain Dew is part of PepsiCo. It's the pride of the Carolinas. But I am a diet soda sommelier. And Diet Mountain Dew is good, but it's a little sweeter. Diet Sundrop is a little more tart with a hint of chemicals. But it is delicious. One thing I did look up is that it almost has as much caffeine as a Red Bull. So, oh my God. No wonder I've gotten a little jittery lately.
Get one of these bad boys to Matt Gaetz. He likes energy drinks.
Governor of Florida, I hear.
Yeah, next governor of Florida. Now, the Wright brothers first flew along North Carolina's Outer Banks. Ohio calls themselves the birthplace of aviation because Orville and Wilbur Wright were born in Ohio. If someone from Ohio was visiting North Carolina, where would you tell them to go to fistfight you for your state's honor?
I'm ready to duel on Jockey's Ridge, right at Kitty Hawk, right where the first flight occurred, because North Carolina is first in flight, no doubt.
Yeah.
They just had a bicycle shop in Ohio, in Dayton.
Yeah, that checks out. I mean, it wasn't like we shall use our Ohio-ness to reach the skies. It will be the qualities we brought from our native state of Ohio. No, they came here to do it.
Came here to do it.
If they were going to fly in Ohio, they would have flown in Ohio.
Can I steal that one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Governor Roy Cooper, everybody. Thank you so much. It's really fun. Thank you so much. You're governor.